As we said, the gut microbiome is formed of so much bacteria. But if you have excessive of the wrong bacteria, that could actually be affecting the cravings.
Oh, it's always what we eat, that causes an issue.
You know when they say you are what you eat?
Literally.
Literally,
yes.
you are. The gut feeling, the gut instinct that we have is real, okay? It is not superstition. You're not just, feeling something that's not there. It is there.
Yes. Welcome to Consultation Room Podcast.
Welcome to today's episode. Now, have you ever had a gut feeling that turned out to be right? Well, in this burning question episode, we're going to break down the world science behind your body and mind. Are we really making our own decisions, or are we just the host for some very persuasive microbes? Let's find out.
Okay.
So, Steph, have you ever had a really strong gut feeling? And then at the end of it, you thought, or you said to yourself, I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it. I should have followed my gut.
Yeah, I think it happens quite often. Sometimes I do listen to my gut, sometimes I don't. And when I don't, I always regret it. Like, I'm like, why didn't I just listen? It's like I have that intuition and I'm like, oh, yeah. But I think almost everyone does though, isn't it?
Yeah, like it's, when they say going with a gut, or like I had a gut feeling.
Yes.
When something's gone wrong and you're like, I knew it. I had this gut feeling that, it was not right, or, but I mean, it's one of those though that could be seen as superstition.
Okay. It's true,
right?
Yeah.
Because people will be saying, is gut feeling actually, like, is it real? When someone says, no, my gut is telling me I shouldn't go in that, in that house. And someone's like, don't be silly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So is the gut feeling actually real? Do you believe that the gut feeling is real?
I think it is. I really do think so. But I think you are right. I think it might be a bit spiritual, because I feel like maybe it's like sometimes our guardian angel, like, giving us that funny feeling. Giving us that funny feeling that don't do this or do this.
Don't go in there.
Yes.
In like those horror movies.
Yes.
Well, I can assure you today that gut feelings are actually real.
Okay.
And they come from a communication between the gut and the brain. This is called the gut-brain axis.
Okay.
And these sensations, what we call the gut feeling, they are genuine signals about physical and emotional state. Now, normally what happens is the brain talks to the gut and the gut talks back to the brain. That's literally the relationship between the gut and the brain. And that's why it's called the gut-brain axis. And if you've ever had a gut feeling, this is exactly what we're talking about. This is the communication we're talking about. So that's why sometimes when you're excited before an event, say a wedding, or like, I don't know, you've got a party, or there's a child coming and you're excited, you get butterflies in your stomach.
Yeah.
The butterflies in your stomach are real. Well, there's no butterflies in the stomach, but that feeling of having butterflies in the stomach, that is real.
Okay.
Also, sometimes when you think that something dreadful might just be lingering, or like, something's about to happen. Unfortunately, that is also real.
Okay.
Your gut is telling you something.
Wow.
We'll get to the science in a minute, but we have debunked the myth of a gut feeling is just superstition. No, it's not. First of all, it is real.
Okay.
So normally what happens is your gut actually influences your decision making.
I see.
When they say going with a gut, you're actually going with a gut, literally. Okay. So the science behind this is there's a lot of nerves in your gut. Actually, the gut has more nerves than any other organ outside of the brain. So the brain has the most nerves, but then after that is the gut. And the gut-brain axis involves bidirectional communication between the gut and the brain, as we said. And normally this connection, unfortunately, can affect mood, mental health, behavior, disease risk, stress response, and even conditions like depression and Parkinson's disease.
Okay.
Now, there is evidence that shows that the gut microbe or microbiome, which is what we call the gut bacteria, plays a key role in producing chemicals that actually impact brain function. You know how we keep saying the gut bacteria?
Yeah.
You know, the good gut bacteria.
Yeah.
And people are like, why do I need bacteria in my gut? You need bacteria in your gut. So I think in the last few times we've had guests, actually what they have emphasized on is the fact that we have so much serotonin in our gut. So when we were talking about, when we had Dr. Gathoni, and we're talking about seasonal affective disorder, that was mentioned.
Yes.
And we've had another guest recently, and again, that was mentioned. Yeah. So clearly there is something to this. This serotonin that is found in the gut, and I think it's about 90% of serotonin is actually found in the gut, and then only 10% is actually found in the brain, or even less.
Okay.
Does actually influence brain activity, unfortunately not directly, but through something, they call diffusion. But basically, the microbiome is responsible for that gut feeling.
I see.
Exactly. Now, do you even know how much microbiome you have, Steph?
No, like, I'm sure, does that play a role? Like how much a person has will equate to whether they have that gut feeling or not? Because I'm sure some people don't get that gut feeling and others do. Does the amount equate to it?
Well, the thing is, it's not necessarily some people don't get the gut feeling. Some people don't have to think too much about their gut feeling.
Okay.
So we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
We'll get to that in a minute. But yes, the good gut bacteria. So, you can have good and bad gut bacteria, but we're talking about the good gut bacteria. That influences a lot of things, decision-making as well. But what body functions the gut and brain connection actually affects is things like hunger and satisfaction, food preferences, cravings. You know how you don't like your veggies?
Yes.
You need to check your gut, Steph. I'm just going to say it. I'm telling you, it's not even just you. It's not your brain. It's not, I'm telling you, it's your gut. Your gut is... So the microbiomes in your gut, something is not connecting that. It's not adding up. You need to check that because it's like, so there's certain good gut bacteria that actually helps in some of these things. So if you don't have some of these good gut bacteria, that's why you're not able to even like enjoy some of these foods, because it's almost like it's telling you, I don't know what this is. It doesn't recognize it. Hence why I'm saying, Steph,
I need to check it.
Maybe you need to get that checked.
I will.
Another body function that the gut-brain connection actually affects is food sensitivities. So sometimes when people have like sensitivity to like seafood, like myself, or like sensitivity to, or even intolerances, like gluten intolerance, like all of lactose intolerance. This is all the gut-brain connection. So there is something that could not be adding up. And that's why you're having some of these intolerances. That's why you're having some of these sensitivities. There is something in the gut. Also, of course, we know digestion, which is the main, function of the gut. Any gut movements as well. When you feel like your stomach is rumbling. You know when they say your stomach is rumbling?
Yes.
That is your gut-brain connection.
Telling you that you need
Probably
to
not
eat.
even rumbling because of hunger. Do you know what it is? You hear your stomach rumbling. And then you say, I'm hungry.
Yes. You automatically say, I'm hungry. My stomach is telling me,
No, it's
not.
You're probably not. What could be happening is your gut microbiome is actually telling you something else. It's probably saying to you something is not balanced there.
we just automatically think it's hunger.
You know, when someone's stomach is going crazy, what do you normally tell them? You should get something to eat.
Yeah. I see.
No.
Okay.
That is not hunger. We just equate it to what we want it to be, but it's not always the case. And also things like mood, stress levels, pain sensitivity even.
Okay.
Now some people are like, I've got like very, low pain threshold, or like they are very sensitive to pain.
Yeah.
Something to do with the gut.
I see.
As well.
I see. I feel like my gut is not good then, because I have a low pain threshold. I don't eat. I've kind of eaten vegetables, but not that great. Like,
Yeah.
My gut is telling me, there's something going on. Go check it out.
Literally.
I see.
So basically, the brain and the digestive system, which is the gut, have evolved together to help us survive. And that is actually, this axis, the brain-gut axis, is actually really good in helping us survive. So what we eat is actually crucial to our overall health. And our gut and brain both need to work together to make sure we get the nutrients we need. So if you eat the wrong foods, normally what you do is you can alarm like the brain as well. And then it's almost like, you alarm the microbiomes that something is not right. And that sends the message to your brain. But it's not normally just about food. I mean, food is not the only thing that actually does this. As we said, there is that gut bacteria.
Yeah.
Now, can gut bacteria actually influence decision making and even like intuition?
I'm guessing so, yeah.
Yes. So this gut microbiome might actually be what is pulling all the strings.
Yes.
It's not you. Sometimes it's not you. And that's why if you see me acting erratic, it might not be me. My gut microbiome is not balanced.
So we'll blame it on it, yes.
It's not balanced.
Okay.
And like how when you eat junk food, how do you normally feel? Like when you've eaten junk food or like fatty foods or like...
I feel really awful.
What you shouldn't be eating. How do you feel?
I feel awful. Like, I feel great when I do eat it. Like, you feel a bit elated and stuff. And then after, you kind of regret it. What I do anyway.
Sluggish.
Yeah, you feel, because, you're feeling sluggish. So you kind of regret it after, you feel a bit low, like, oh, why did I do that?
You start regretting it.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you know what that is?
Your gut.
That feeling sluggish, that regret is your gut microbiome. It's basically reacting to poor nutrition.
Wow.
So every time, even when you make a decision and you're like, why did I do that? That regret that comes after, that's your gut microbiome. Or we don't even think about the gut microbiome. Like normally you just think, like I am an emotional, you start saying you. No, it's not even you. That's what we'll go by. It's not even you.
No, it's your gut.
It's not even you.
Oh, I see.
So studies actually show that certain bacteria affects cravings of sort of like sugar and fatty foods. So as we said, the gut microbiome is formed of so much bacteria. But if you have excessive of the wrong bacteria, that could actually be affecting the cravings. And, you could be now craving more sugar, more fatty foods, things like that. And there was experiments that were done on mice that showed that gut bacteria could affect risk-taking behavior.
Okay.
So this raises the question, are your food choices really yours, or is your gut actually
telling you,
out here tricking you? So I think what they did with the mice is they fed loads of like the gut bacteria to some like different mice, and then they maybe like took out some of the gut bacteria from certain mice, and they watched how they functioned. What happened is the mice that had more gut bacteria, which of course included some of the good gut bacteria, made like almost like logical decisions.
I see.
It's like there's a ditch there, I shouldn't jump in there, or there's water, I have to be careful, I can't just I might drown. Whereas the other mice, they were reckless, absolutely reckless. They were out there not even thinking twice. They literally, it's one of those, like, they were just, they were not controllable. So basically what this experiment concluded is that when you have more gut bacteria, which of course would include the good gut bacteria, it helps with decision making. You're not making wrong decisions. You're not just being careless, because that's what sometimes happens, isn't it?
Yes.
When you have that gut feeling and you just go by the wrong feeling.
Yes.
Why is that?
I see.
Your gut microbiome.
I see. So when you see me acting reckless, Trudy, don't just blame it on me, yeah? Just know there's something going on in there.
I'm like, Steph, what have you been eating?
Exactly.
What is going on with your stomach?
Exactly. It's all, it's always what we eat, that causes an issue.
You know when they say you are what you eat?
Literally.
Literally, you are. They should not have even just said that and left it there. They should have explained that. No, we actually mean you are what you eat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's true. So they say, I'm glad you said that, because they say probiotic rich foods have been linked to better stress management and clearer thinking. So I bet you the mice that was being reckless was eating McDonald's, KFC, Nando's, Pizza Hut. And the other mice was eating
some
home-cooked meals.
That's right.
Salad.
Yes.
Like good
nutritional
organic potatoes.
Right. That's right.
Good food.
Yes. Don't worry, I'm taking it all
now, in. You're taking all this
to advise myself.
I'm glad you are, because no, I am actually glad. I'm glad you are, because actually, what they say is, and I'm not just saying this because I'm vegan. This is what they're saying. Research found out that plant-based foods are very good in having a lot of the probiotics that we need, the good probiotics, which help with the gut bacteria. So people who are vegan, clearly it equates to them being rational and making better judgment and better decisions.
I see how you're smiling there. Oh, I make better judgment.
I'm just saying, it's what research said. Research said that plant-based foods are actually, they contain higher probiotic elements.
Yes.
Therefore, people who are eating these foods have got better gut bacteria, more gut bacteria. Hence, I mean, if you put 2 and 2, it's not me. I'm not the one who said 2 + 2 is 4. Okay, it's math. It's not me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so unfortunately, that's what research says. I'm not forcing anyone to be vegan, but
these are some of the
fruit and veg is your friend. Fruit and veg is your friend. Yes. That's all I'll say.
I mean, we've always known that.
Now, yeah, exactly. And so normally when it comes to the gut-brain axis, there is sort of like certain mechanisms that sort of work in allowing us to make the right decisions and also to allow this gut-brain axis to sort of function as it should. So there is the neural pathways, which is normally like it just basically transmits signals from the gut to brain directly. And then there's the endocrine pathways. And as we said, the gut produces loads of serotonin and dopamine, and this normally influence brain function. So this is the endocrine pathways. And then there's also the immune pathways. And this is normally associated with lymphoid tissues that interact with microbiomes, which we have now discussed. And we have all agreed that microbiomes are basically what we need. We need plenty of those. And also what happens is this signal the brain to sort of like affect the neuroinflammation and things like that. So basically, by having better gut bacteria as well, you're also building your immune system. you're also building just, all these other functions that your body really needs. So to be fair, the gut microbiome is probably like the most important thing in your body. Now, how people say, I drink my water, I do this. Have you checked your gut microbiome?
I think, no, it's quite important that should also be added to the list of things that we should be taking care of. We should be like, prioritizing.
Yeah.
Good to know.
So there's research that shows that consuming certain probiotics can actually change brain activity relating to emotions and gut microbiomes. That's linked to Parkinson's disease. Yes. I don't know about you, Steph, but I've never in my life taken any probiotics.
No, I haven't either.
Have you ever thought to?
No.
When you take antibiotics, I'm sure you've taken some antibiotics.
Yes, I have. But I've never thought to take probiotics. Like,
And what's the reason? You don't see a need, right? Because you're healthy.
I am.
Yeah. But so you don't see a need as to why you should be taking probiotics.
No. But it's something we should consider doing as well. Yeah.
And if you think about it, like with how, say, antibiotics work, what are they doing? They're killing some of the microbiomes. Yeah. So you're actually having less microbiomes, and we need loads of these microbiomes.
We need to replenish it as well after taking the antibiotics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I have been on antibiotics last year and this year. Why did I not take my gut?
Same.
That's why some of the decisions I was making early in the year, I was confused.
You were like, this is not Trudy.
This is not me. What is going on?
I make rational decisions. What is going on?
How did I get to that? But sometimes, honestly, if you think about it, if you go back and think about some decisions you've made, you're thinking,
like, why
was this person?
It was not me. No, it's true. It's true. Sometimes it happens to me. I'm like, no, this is not you, Stephanie. Like, really? But now it's making sense, My gut was making that decision, not me.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, you were, you were helping your gut. You're like the accomplice in this, in this case, because your gut was telling you something, but you weren't listening.
No.
And it's I feel like it's never just once. When you start making bad decisions, there's almost like a repeat.
Yes. It's true.
And you're thinking,
sometimes it happens, like I make a bad decision, like maybe one day. Within the split second, I make another one. I was like, what is going on? I'm like, what's going on? But now it all makes sense.
Now you see what it is.
It will make sense. It will make sense.
Honestly, and also sometimes it's days on end. Like you make a bad decision today, you go to bed and you say, tomorrow's going to be a better day. Tomorrow you're making the same bad decision. And you're thinking, what is going on? It's because something it's not, balanced.
Yeah.
Your gut microbiomes are telling you something,
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is whenever you've made a bad decision, or you have a gut feeling, a strong gut feeling, your gut is telling you something. Literally, when you have that gut, like, I don't know why they came up with these words and not tell us that it actually means that. I've never thought about it until I watched something. So there was something on, well, it probably is still on there on Netflix. I think it's called it's called Hack Your Health: The Secrets of Your Gut.
Okay.
Have you watched it on Netflix?
No.
Now, until I watched that, I was a bit like, I'm not too sure. And then I watched it, and my eyes were opened.
Really?
My eyes were open because there was a girl eating her boyfriend's poop.
No.
Yes. She needed it.
What do you mean she needed it?
Yeah. And I tell you what, until I watched it, I was like, would you eat your husband's poop?
Oh, poo.
Why not?
What do you mean, why not? What do you mean, why not, Trudy? It's poo.
If your gut was so bad, like no matter what you eat, you cannot gain weight, your gut is just not healthy, you're losing so much weight, you're getting so ill, and they tell you there's something wrong with your gut microbiome.
So you have to eat poop.
And the only way, I tell you what, can we just, it's Consultation Room podcast, so we're going to be honest and very open here. So I'll tell you exactly how she used to do it. Do you want to know?
I want to know. But
have you had your dinner?
I have, thankfully.
Good. Basically, on the show, so again, as I said, she had really poor gut microbiome and she was really, really sick. Like she was getting really, really sick. And it was a point they told her, there's actually nothing we can do, but there is something that's on trial that maybe you could try and see if it works for you. And she's like, listen, at this point, just, anything will do. So basically, I think, do you know what? I think I jumped a lot of the scenes because I was a bit, a lot of times I felt like I was going to gag. And I just remember, like, I jumped to the point where, like, the guy went to the fridge and he took, like, one of those Tupperwares. And there was a long thing in this Tupperware. Sausage-looking long thing. And then he goes ahead, puts it in a blender.
In my blender?
Maybe it's a specific one for that. Puts in a blender, blends it. And then they had some capsules that they'd opened. The girl was opening capsules. And they had to sort of like pipette bits into the capsule. And that's what she had to take. Oh my God. And now I will tell you why I bring this story up. And I think this is very, very important. She initially was told, you know, maybe you need to ingest someone else's poop. And I think they call it fecal microbiome transplant. There's a name for it. It's a real thing. And basically she was like, okay, I'll try that. So she tried her brother's. And her brother has really bad, like severe acne, like adult acne. And she found out like she was getting really, really bad acne. Now that already tells you that this microbiome is important, because you know what you say, you are what you eat. You are literally what you eat. So she was eating her brother's poop basically, and he had, you know, the brother suffered from acne, so she started getting really bad acne. And then she was like, no, this is quite bad. It was like really, really bad acne that she was getting. Like she was getting worse basically. So basically you can eat whatever it is, but you will get worse. The effect will be worse. So she was getting worse acne than even her brother. And then she was like, okay, no, I need to change my, you know, my donor. I don't know what you call them, like my supplier. Okay. And so she decided to go with her boyfriend. And so her boyfriend suffers from depression and I think some mental health conditions. But she was then having her boyfriend's poop, basically, fecal microbiome transplant, we should call it. Yes. And she suffers from mild depression, and she started having really, really bad depression. Wow. Really, really bad depression as well. But I think she kind of just went with it because it was helping her gut microbiome. I see. Oof. It was building her gut microbiome.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could, you know. I'll probably end up
you know? But if they tell you it's the last, honestly, because you know your gut is actually, as we said, it actually has such major functions. So if your gut microbiome is not great, do you know what I mean?
Well, no, I can't. I physically can't. Someone else's poop.
So,
and not even someone else's, like poop in general. Doesn't matter whose is it. It's just no.
It's just the idea of it.
Yeah, no.
In capsules, though.
It's still disgusting, Trudy.
It is. Now, I don't actually, do you know, I should watch that show properly. Like, I should watch it properly. Guys, if you have watched the show and I've maybe given the wrong story, please correct me. But I am sure that's what I see.
I see.
And, you know, if you're really interested, yes, it is on Netflix. It's called Hack Your Health, The Secret of Your Gut.
I see.
You should all watch it and you will appreciate and maybe even just really think about some of the decisions you make when it comes to your gut, because I think that's one thing people don't even, if you think about it, no one actually ever thinks about the gut.
No.
It's like, you know, these shows where people eat like 10,000, I don't know, hot dogs, or like, no one is thinking about their gut.
People just eat anyhow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yes, the gut is very, very important in a lot of things. The gut microbiome is very, very important in a lot of things, including decision making. And maybe part of the reason she made that decision to have the poop is because she had very little gut microbiome. So her decision making might have been poor. I mean, listen. So research, as we said, believes that gut bacteria might even play a role in how we perceive risk or even trust others.
Yeah.
So that gut microbiome, as we said, it helps in a lot of things, decision making, just being, you know, being sensible about certain things, and also just trusting others.
Yeah.
So you know how some people are very good with like trusting, like they almost have this like
intuition, basically,
feeling like this person is not right, because their gut bacteria is probably very good. They've got loads of it, and it's telling them exactly what it is, as opposed to some people who will trust people who they shouldn't, and they end up, you know, in situations where, you know, these people end up, I don't know, killing their family or whatever. I've watched too many movies, clearly. But yeah, that's about it.
Oh wow. This was actually very interesting. I never thought about this. Yeah. But a lot of it made sense, like what you were saying. Because you know how we always say, listen to your body, listen to your body. This is basically it. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is basically it. Your gut is your body, so listen to it.
Yeah. Like your gut is literally like, and there's not a feeling deeper than that gut feeling. You know, sometimes you feel like almost like a pit in your stomach. It is probably a pit in the stomach.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Now, there is ways to nurture your gut-brain axis. One of them is you have to maintain a balanced diet.
Okay.
So they say, as I said, a good variety of whole foods and emphasizing on plant-based foods is very important. Listen, guys, I'm not the one saying this. It's research. Okay, I'm not like championing for, you know, plant-based, but by all means, listen, if you want to, it's probably better for you.
Yeah.
And they also say soluble and insoluble fiber. So this will, of course, keep your bowels regular and help your bowels, you know, movements proper, but also it helps microbiomes, you know, this good microbiome. So soluble and insoluble fiber is really, really good. So vegetables, fruits, guys, please, let's get on it. And then they also say prebiotics and probiotics. So these you can get normally in tablet form, capsule form in pharmacy, but also just the live bacteria that is in fermented foods like yogurt or even like sauerkraut. These are very, very good. So you know how like, I think you were telling me something about when we were talking about cholesterol, and there's this drink that your mom used to drink, and I think it was fermented.
Yes.
And apparently was helping with cholesterol.
Yes.
Yeah. So because of the good gut microbiome, I think it helps with a lot of dysfunction. As we said, the gut microbiome helps with a lot of different functions.
Yes. Oh, wow.
To be fair, they actually say it helps with a lot of diseases, fighting, immunity, all of these things.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. And then lastly, they say antioxidants are also very, very important. So these are normally naturally occurring in fruits and vegetables, and they help normally fight free radicals in the body and also normally help prevent inflammation. So these are foods that you can eat to help with your gut microbiome, and they will also help fight you know, some of these things that we don't need. But otherwise, listen, that is the fact. I am not telling anyone to be vegan. I'm not telling anyone to jump on the fruit and veg. If you're happy with your lifestyle, by all means, but these are the facts. This is science.
Oh, thank you, science, and thank you, Trudy. That was really good.
What have you learned today, Steph? What are the things you're going to implement going forward?
Yeah, I think the key thing for me is eating healthily, because as you mentioned, if you're gonna eat like all these crappy food, you're actually gonna be feeling really bad, and you're like,
exactly.
So it's the best thing to do for yourself and to listen to your body, as we said, is eat healthily, promote that good gut microbiome, as Trudy said, and that would help you listen to your body more, help you make the right decision. I don't want to be making reckless decisions. So for me, I think that's the main thing, to make sure I eat healthily, which I have been trying. Like Trudy set me some goals at the beginning of the year, so I have been trying. Yes, but yeah, for the purpose of this episode, I think my main thing is for you to promote good gut feeling or good gut microbiome. Basically, just eat healthily, so that like you help your gut, basically. Yeah. So that would be the main thing for me. What is your take on message? Yeah.
Well, I think more than anything, what I have understood from all my research is the gut feeling, the gut instinct that we have is real. Okay. It is not superstition. You're not just, feeling something that's not there. It is there.
Yes.
There is something there. You just need to listen to your body. What exactly is your body telling you? So the gut feeling can actually provide valuable insights and even prompt you to pay closer attention to some clues. So maybe there's something not right, and your gut, that is your way of your gut telling you that maybe this is not right. And I think going forward, if I am not sure about something, I am not doing it, because clearly my gut is telling me something. So if there's a stranger, waving and wanting me to go in, for a lift, if my gut is telling me that this is not right, I will listen to that, because
Definitely.
I could end up, that would be it. There'll be no more consultation room podcast. There'll be consultation room podcast with Steph, because clearly something might happen. So it's more of like literally listening to my gut, because I feel like, if anything, your gut is telling you something. And if you are implementing all these things, probiotics, eating healthy, fibers, things like that, then you have a good gut microbiome. That means that if your gut is telling you something, then you should really listen to it. But I think listening to your gut, as much as it's important, it's also really important to consider the facts, and also any context before any decision making. So when I personally would not just say listen to your gut and just go by that. Just consider the facts as well. But essentially, when you experience a strong gut feeling, it could be your body's way of communicating something important about your overall well-being or decision-making process. So the gut feeling is always right. If you've enjoyed this episode, make sure you subscribe, make sure you follow us. We are available on Instagram, on TikTok, on other platforms, on podcasts, Apple Podcasts. So make sure you're following us on all of these platforms so that you don't miss an episode. Like, subscribe, share with a friend, share with your mom, share with your family.
Thank you for tuning in today. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Remember, a healthy chat is a step towards a healthy life.
If you have any topics you'd like us to discuss, drop us an email at consultationroompod@gmail.com. Our Instagram is @consultationroompod. See you next week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay blessed.